Alright guys, so over on the NA version of the game, we just learned what the new event is going to be, so I thought I'd go ahead and put up my event guide for some of you guys wondering what to expect for this event. Spoiler alert, it's going to be pretty easy. It is a rerun of a lottery, so obviously it's very limited, and it's really just here for some players to get some goodies that they might have missed out on, and if you already played the event, get a little bit of goodies from the lottery, right? But not too many goodies because obviously as a rerun, the lottery is a little bit limited, but still, I'm going to let you know all the goodies that you can get from this event, all the free-to-play stuff if you maybe missed it the first time, or if you're coming back, let you know that you're going to be getting a lot of mana prisms basically, so that's always really cool if you didn't get enough from the last lottery. But before we begin, if you have not already, make sure you leave a like on the video and that you subscribe to the channel for that sweet daily FGO content. And hey, sometimes your boy even double uploads like he did the other day. Also, if you want more content, I do stream every weekday over on my Twitch. Make sure you go down to that in the description down below and give that a follow. I'm going to try to start experimenting with start times because I think starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time might be a little too early for some people that are like just getting out of class and whatnot. So I might push it back to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and see if that works better for some people. So I might be jumping back and forth in the next couple of days, seeing what works better for you guys. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and just start off by talking about the event servants you can expect to be able to use for this servant. And they're really not that great. I mean, some people probably got like their eyes bulging out of their heads because they see, Emiya over here, and Emiya is obviously really, really good for farming, but other than that, there's not a whole lot of other really good farming servants. Although Chen Dingledong is here, so if you've got a couple of supports to pair with him, you could pretty much use him for most of the nodes here, because with that 30% special damage mod he's getting for the event, and if you give him the proper buffs, he should be able to farm most of these nodes if you don't have, like a Space Ishtar or, a Berserker Musashi, stuff like that. You also do have some notable servants that can help you out in some of the more difficult fights if you are struggling with them. I mean, Jalter is literally on rate up right now, and so if you do go acquire her, you can use her for some of these. She's obviously still a very, very good DPS servant. If you want to do art setups, you can use someone like Vlad. He's very good, especially with Castoria and Tamamo, Waver, all those guys. You have people like Jack who are going to be good for taking down female enemies, stuff like that, right? If you need help with the challenge quests and stuff, you have options here. Then, obviously, you can use Nightingale. She's getting 100%. And if you pull Saber Astolfo, he's going to be doing Big Mac Daddy damage, just destroying everything with 100% special damage mod. But even like Ash Fataman is going to be really good for this. So just some guys to consider. Next, let's talk about the gacha. I mean, this is probably the most important thing with every event. Everybody's like, what servants are going to be available for me to spend my hard-earned Saint Quartz on? And well, it's basically just a rerun of the original banner plus the new banner that also dropped, because Lasengla, as we know, is pretty aggressive with banners. They always want to make sure there's like 2 banners up at bare minimum. So you have that Jalter banner, and he got this one. In my humble opinion, I think going for the Jalter one is a little bit better, because Jalter is going to be really good, and she's only going to get better when she gets her buff. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Jalter apologist. It's just that, like, Nightingale has some really nice, fun, niche uses, but you're probably not going to break her out for any, like, serious fights. This Astolfo can be kind of good because of his 50% battery if your box is a little more limited. Nursery Rhyme, decent arts crit caster if you kind of want to be nice to her. Asher Tommen is actually unironically really good if you do want to pull for him. Bradamante has to be one of like the most disappointing servants I've ever used. I mean, on paper, she's one of those servants that looks really broken, and it's just, I don't know what she's lacking, right? Just give her, I don't know, more damage, more NP gain, more everything, right? You gotta slap more on her. Hopefully she starts getting more buffs in the future. And Astolfo Saber is actually probably the prize of the banner. Go figure, he is the new 5-star. He's actually really, really good. I think he actually competes very well with someone like Okita Saber, right? Okita's more of like a burst person, where Astolfo's got a little bit more sustainability, right? With like the stun and like the triple dodge and everything. So he can be a very, very good tech option. And plus, it's Astolfo. Who doesn't like Astolfo? Just keep in mind, I want to bring your attention over to the future banners that are going to be coming out. This is where we're at right now. We are perfectly like on schedule right now. In fact, we're actually a little bit early. As you can see, that this dropped originally on the 21st of August, and it's going to be dropping in just a few days, right? So by the time this video goes out, I mean, the event might actually already be out, but basically we're pretty far ahead. Like, we're actually not far ahead, but a couple weeks ahead, right? So we're actually a little ahead of schedule, so I'd expect these maybe a little bit earlier next month, but that's for the next video where I talk about the upcoming, event guides and whatever stuff like that. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the nodes that you're going to be farming on this event. Now, the nodes are really easy to farm, which is going to make actually completing this event really easy, but I wouldn't burn through your apples for the expressed reason that the lottery on this event is limited to 10 boxes. If you're a new player, did not mean to click that. If you're a new player and you don't know, whenever they do a rerun for a lotto event, they usually have it to where you're only limited to being able to farm 10 boxes, right? Just to make it so it's not like super OP and that you could just farm 80 billion lottos back to back to back, because one, that might be a little exhausting for players, but two, I think everybody would probably do it because it's really OP. Lotteries are like the best events in the game. So you're limited to 10 boxes, so you don't have to like go balls to the wall farming day one. You could just try to use natural AP, and then maybe if you're getting to the last couple of days, use a couple of apples here and there to kind of finish up your farming. You really should be fine on time, though it is here for a good, decent amount of time. And all of the nodes are pretty good. If you can't do this platinum one over here, which going to require some certain setups, as if you can't do this one, you can just do this one. This one's really easy. Just break out Jason. He can knock this one out really, really easily. Or just really your Berserker Musashis, your Space Ishtars, all your people like that, they can knock this out. But if you don't have them, but you got a, double Castoria setup, break out your Jason. He'll be able to do this one just fine. I know that I did that on JP when we got this rerun, and Jason worked like a charm for me. So make sure you use him. He can get it done. Now, let's go ahead and start talking about some of the goodies. Not all this stuff. Let's first start off with the free-to-play CE, which I actually think is worth going for. Try to limit break this thing, because it's actually really strong. Like, this is one of the most broken CEs for quick farming. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. Like, it is flawless. It is a free 50% starting gauge, NP gain, quick performance, which is like everything you could give a quick servant, and they just absolutely love you for it. And if you want to like actually level it up, it's an attack CE as well, which attack CEs are way better than HP CEs, because that 2000 attack goes miles further than just the extra 2k HP. So this is stupid dummy broken, one of the better like free-to-play CEs, especially if you want to use any quick servants. And if you're looking, in the future when like Scotty at the bare minimum should be getting another raid up next Christmas, although, with Lasengle, they might throw her out there at like Thanksgiving or something, right, for all I know. But at the bare minimum, she will be coming back next year, and then in about a year and a half, 2 years, we're going to have Ruler Scotty coming out. And so we know that she's also going to be a super giga OP quick support. And so if you're looking at any of them and you don't have any of the other more broken quick CEs, or you don't got a scope or anything, you're going to be keeping your eyes on this. This is really, really good if you don't have anything better. Moving on to some of the command codes over here. The Jean one is the 5-star one, and it's kind of nice, right? You get a little bit of HP every single turn. You can throw it on one of your more survivability servants, like Aku would really like this. Chi Wong would really like this, because they're both really tanky. I wouldn't advise putting it on like Herc or Ku Ultra, because they're berserkers, and the 1000 HP every turn really isn't going to add up. But with Chi Wong, him being a ruler, being naturally very tanky, this kind of will actually help him out a little bit. Same thing for Ku, because Ku shouldn't be getting hit all that often. Plus, Ku's also got his own heal built into his kit, so this could kind of give him a little bit of extra healing, right? This does have some niche utility. Don't throw it away entirely, but it's really better for those stall and like more solo type servants, right? They can really make a lot of use out of this. Then move on over to the 4-star command code. This is pretty nice, just gives you some nice quick crit damage. 20% is nothing to scoff at, it's pretty decent. Slap it on any of the quick servants that you're going to be using, just pretty predominantly. Like, I might toss this on Okita or Skahawk, something like that. Just a quick servant that I know that I'm also going to use as a quick crit servant, right? Just pretty easy stuff. Throw it on your favorite quick crit servant and they'll be perfectly fine. Then finally, we have the Angel's Bed one, which I really don't think is going to be all that important. This one only gives you 100 HP, and it removes a critical attack chance buff off the enemy, so it's kind of niche. I mean, it might come up sometimes because enemies do like to buff their critical attack chances, so I can't say it'll never come up, but it's one of those more niche things, right? Because you'll probably just have a better, chance slapping on something that's going to give you more damage, more crit damage, card buff, stuff like this. But if you're running out of command codes and you want to put this on one of your boss killing servants, it might come up every now and then. It might be nice, so not too bad. But obviously, the prize for the event is going to be Nightingale Santa over here. And look at how beautiful that 4th Ascension is. It's a shame we didn't get that as a costume. Maybe Lysengal will fix that. Fingers crossed. That's complete copium. Don't hope for that. But she's really, really good. I'll probably give her a video when the event actually drops, or in the next couple of days, depending on when this goes out, you know? She's really, really good. You can actually get a lot of value out of this servant. She's like a pseudo DPS buff type servant. Like, everything she does is like pretty good for the party, you know, with the HP recovery. She gives decent attack buffs and everything. She can give you the guts and everything. Like, everything she does is really, really good for the party. So you can either use her for a more buff type role, or you can like give her buffs away to other people to make them better, or you can use her as her own DPS, and she'll do good at that. I mean, she's a free NP5, and look at all the nasty effects on here. Although, I only wish it was removed defensive buffs, because when, you know, we remove defensive buffs, that's broken. We just yeet off their defense buffs, their, you know, quick resistance buffs. That's what matters to us because we're a quick servant. You know, their invincibility, dodge, all that good stuff, we yeet all that off. It's really, really nice. But offensive buffs is also not bad, because keep in mind, some enemies can start stacking these like an absolute madman, and if you could just remove like 50 of their attack buffs, it's like, just dust your hands off. You pretty much just took all the teeth out of their bite. You know what I'm saying? Weird analogy, but you get what I'm saying, right? So she can also do more damage over time with the reducing damage for 3 turns, so she kind of stacks defense down on people. But she's pretty much going to be the prize for a lot of people. If you missed out on her, I highly recommend that you farm this event and you really go for her, because she is really, really nice to use, especially if you don't really have a whole lot of other quick servants. She can definitely help you out in a lot of fights. But with all that being said, if you guys have any further questions, again, I do stream every weekday, and if you're like, man, how do I farm this node? I have these servants. You can either ask someone in my Discord, which is linked down in the description down below, or you can just come out to the streams and ask me, and I'll try to do my best to help you out, as long as I'm not preoccupied with getting my back blown out by one of the challenge quests, because the new JP challenge quest is pretty annoying. It's not hard, it's just annoying, right? It takes a long time to do, and I'm quite impatient. So with all that being said, I hope this event guide was helpful as per usual, and I will catch you guys in the next video. See you guys tomorrow.